Hello all. Today I'm going to run through a couple of quick tips, diagnostic tips you can use in your Jeep car or truck. So this is a 2004 Wrangler TJ. This works in at least 1999 models and up, probably even earlier. This will work in Wranglers, Cherokees. I think some of the newer ones it works as well, but instead of the 3, well, I'll show you in a minute, but instead of the 3 switch, you have to do it 5 times. So we're going to do 2 things. One's going to be the Obd Reader. You can read it right from your dash panel rather than needing a reader. You can find those codes, so if you get a evap system error and your check engine light comes on, you don't have to take it to the dealership or somewhere else or buy a reader. You can just do it right from your Jeep. The other one is a cluster Gauge Diagnostic. So it checks all your lights, your dash lights, checks all your gauges, RPM, fuel, etc. So let's try it. And I'm going to turn my parking lights on so you can see this gauge is a little easier. So like I said, the first one we'll do is the check engine light codes, the OBD codes. In my case, I don't have a check engine light, and I didn't feel like forcing one, so all you're going to see on mine is it's going to say done. But if you had a check engine code or multiple codes, it would give you all the codes on your standard readout. Otherwise, you have to have a, how easy you can see that, but this is a ultra gauge. This gives me a lot of different measurements, but this is also a reader that plugs right into the OBD port down here. So let's try it. The first one is pretty simple. You're basically going to have your key in and hit the ignition, turn the ignition on 3 times. So on, off, on, off, on, off, on. So let's try it. There's on, off, on, off, on. Now if you watch, see where it says done? Now where it says done there, if you had a check engine code, say a P1081 or whatever the case may be, it would actually show it right there. So that's a quick easy one. Again, it's just 3 times. So you start from off, turn on 1, 2, 3, right there. Alright, the next one's a little more dramatic, but probably not quite as useful unless you have a failed gauge. It's going to check all of your lights, your dash lights. So check engine light, your check gauges light, your brights, your upshift, every light on your panel. The only one I found that it doesn't check, for whatever reason, is the up in this corner. If you have fog lights, the factory fog lights, you'll get a fog light, which I can show you here, right there. That's the only one I've noticed it doesn't check, for whatever reason. Maybe because it's not a safety critical system. But let's try that now. And this one is, if you can see, get the light just right, your trip reset button. Simply hold that down while you turn the ignition on. As soon as you turn the ignition on, all the lights come on, just let it go. And you'll see it does everything else by itself. So I'm going to need 2 hands for this. I'm going to try to balance my camera. Alright, so once again I'm going to push, turn the key, and watch. So you get diagnostic for your readout. I believe this is your software version, in my case 4.0. Mileage, I have no faults. And you'll see, checking my brights, my brake light, seat belt, check engine light, check gauges, gas, 4-wheel drive, cruise. I don't have cruise. Upshift. Now watch the gauges. Speedometer only goes up to 75, which is more than enough in a Jeep. There's the fuel gauge. temperature, tachometer, just about to the red line it takes it, voltage, and your oil pressure. And once it's done, it goes back to a normal state, as if you just turn the key on. So you're going to get the check engine. I have my seatbelt on and I have my brake on. So yeah. So that's the two tricks. Easy way to check to see what the code is for your check engine light. And then you can take that code, the P1082, whatever the case may be, and just type that into your favorite search engine and see what the exact problem is, rather than having to get a gauge. Now if you have a gauge, obviously that works as well. Like I showed earlier, this is the scan or ultra gauge. They also make one called a scan gauge from a different company. It's a little different, but it's just it's a gauge. It plugs in to your ODB2 port down here on the left on the Jeeps, on the Wranglers. And you can do a lot of things. In this case, I have my average miles per gallon, my instant miles per gallon, engine temperature, and there's too many gauges to really list. But this will also check and clear your check engine lights. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.